Tonight is the kind of story Gotham rarely allows. No rooftop monologues, no citywide disaster, just four people trying to spend one normal night together. Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, Clark Kent and Lois Lane, a double date. They already did the hard part, agreeing to meet up at all. Now they're trying to do the impossible part, act like this is normal. They arrive at the Gotham County Fair expecting something simple: food, rides, noise, and a few hours where nobody has to save the world. They step up to the entrance and get stopped cold. It's superhero night. No costume, no entry. The bouncer is dead serious about it. To him, they're just four civilians trying to sneak into a themed event. The moment hangs there, absurd enough to be funny and irritating enough to be real. Clark wants to talk it out politely. Bruce wants to turn around and leave immediately. Lois is already enjoying the comedy of the situation. Selina, of course, sees the path forward with a grin. Because the problem isn't no costumes. The problem is wrong costumes. They have gear in the car, everyone does. But they can't walk in as themselves without risking every camera, every fan, every sharp-eyed kid putting pieces together. Selina proposes the dumbest smart plan imaginable. They swap. Clark wears the Batman suit. Bruce wears the Superman suit. Lois steps into the Catwoman look. Selina borrows Lois's dress. It's chaos disguised as strategy, and somehow, it works. They walk into the fair as strangers, instantly swallowed by a sea of capes and masks. Clark under a cowl is still Clark. Too polite, too careful, trying not to bump into anyone, and somehow managing to look earnest even with bad ears. Bruce, in bright colors, looks like a storm cloud forced into daylight. Lois, in Catwoman gear, moves like a journalist, trying very hard not to laugh. Selina, in Lois's dress, still carries herself like she owns the place. The fair hits them all at once. Lights, music, fried food, people yelling over each other. They start with snacks because that's what you do at a fair. Corn dogs, greasy stuff, sugar that sticks to your teeth. Clark treats it like a wholesome outing. Bruce treats it like proof that he's making terrible life choices. Selina looks delighted that Bruce is suffering. Lois looks delighted that Selina is delighted. They wander past booths and games, and the night starts to take on little vignettes. Clark wants to win prizes quickly, partly to impress Lois and partly because he can't help being helpful. Bruce refuses to show off. His default answer to suggestions is short and flat. He's trying to end conversations by force of will. Selina keeps translating that grumpy energy into something social. Lois keeps poking at it, because she's Lois Lane, and she doesn't let anyone brood in peace. They try the classic carnival stuff, throwing balls at targets, tests of strength, little challenges designed to make you look cooler than you are. Clark wants to do everything perfectly, but he has to fake being normal, which is torture for him in a completely different way than it is for Bruce. Bruce, meanwhile, refuses to be fun on command. Selina and Lois watch the two of them like they're observing a rare animal exhibit. The world's greatest heroes, completely helpless in a social situation. The conversation starts sliding from jokes into something more honest. Clark asks about the engagement. Carefully, he's stepping around something fragile. Selina answers like someone who's decided to stop running. Bruce mostly listens, because whenever he talks about feelings, he turns it into tactics. Clark keeps trying to pull him out of that. Lois keeps an eye on Selina, reading her the way she reads sources, watching for what's real. They end up on a ride high above the lights and noise. With the city below them, the couples naturally split into their pairs. In the tunnel of love, Clark and Lois settle into something steady and familiar. Two people who already know how to be together under pressure. Bruce and Selina feel more like a spark near gasoline, intense and unpredictable, still learning the shape of normal. You can tell Bruce wants to be relaxed. You can tell he doesn't know how. They keep moving, laughing more now, because the longer the night goes without disaster, the more it feels like it might actually last. But Bruce can't stop being Bruce. Even holding a snack, he's scanning. Even smiling, he's calculating exits. Selina notices and teases him for it because that's how she keeps him human. Lois notices and understands because that's how she keeps Clark grounded. They hit the batting cages, and this becomes the central running argument of the night. Could Bruce hit a pitch thrown by Clark? Clark acts like it's an innocent question. It's pure sports talk. Bruce treats it like a challenge to his identity. Selina bets on Bruce out of loyalty and ego. Lois bets against him out of realism and experience. The trash talk is friendly, but the stakes underneath it are real. Strength, control, and what equal means between them. The longer they debate, the less it's about baseball. It becomes about trust. About whether Bruce can accept help without turning it into a contest. About whether Clark can be strong without sounding like he's talking down. Bruce keeps insisting he doesn't need anything from anyone. Clark keeps pushing back, gently, like he's trying to teach Bruce that friendship isn't charity, it's partnership. While the guys posture, Lois and Selina do what adults do when they're tired of hearing men argue. They step aside, share a drink, and talk about the real topic. Marriage, fear, and what happens after yes. Lois asks questions that sound casual, but aren't. Selina answers with confidence that keeps slipping into nerves. Because committing to Bruce Wayne means committing to the shadow he lives in, and Selina is choosing that shadow with her eyes open. The fair keeps throwing goofy obstacles at them. More games, more crowds, more moments where Clark has to pretend he can't do something effortlessly, and Bruce has to pretend he isn't secretly enjoying any of it. They eat more than they should. They laugh more than Bruce expects. For a few pages, it almost feels like Gotham is letting them have it. Like the city is holding its breath and behaving. Then Gotham remembers it's Gotham. A thief, masked and costumed like a question mark come to life, decides this is the perfect place for a quick grab. He goes for Lois's bag, maybe because she's dressed as Catwoman and he assumes she's part of the act, not someone who'll chase him down if she has to. It's petty, stupid crime. Exactly the kind that becomes lethal in the wrong company, except he picked the worst possible victims. Bruce reacts instantly, but he doesn't move like Batman. He moves like a man trying not to reveal anything. Clark helps in a way only he can, precisely turning chaos into a straight line. With Clark's guidance, Bruce takes a baseball and ends the chase in one clean motion. The thief drops before the crowd can even decide whether it's real. And that's the joke. In a carnival full of costumes, stopping a crime looks like part of the show. People cheer. People laugh. The thief is just another performance. Lois gets her bag back, unimpressed. Selina is amused. Clark looks mildly guilty, like he hates ruining anyone's night. Bruce pretends it didn't matter, even though it always matters to him. Even on a date, he can't turn it off. They regroup over something cold and sweet. Ice cream, a bench, a breath. The night finally feels like a date instead of a mission with snacks. Bruce and Clark are calmer now, the argument turning into a grin instead of a grind. Lois and Selina look at them like, "See, you can be normal. It's just difficult for you." But the bet is still on the table. Bruce won't drop it. Clark won't let him. And you can feel that they both need this, not because it proves athletic ability, but because it proves something else. That they can challenge each other without breaking. That they can be close without turning it into war. That the friendship is still intact after everything. So they leave the fair and head to a real field. Out of the crowd, out of the noise, back into the open air where they can stop pretending. They change back into the identities that fit them like skin. Bruce becomes Batman again. Clark becomes Superman again. Lois and Selina watch with the same mix of pride and exasperation. Because of course, this is how the night ends. Superman takes the mound. Batman steps up to the plate. The world's strongest man throws a pitch straight down the middle. Fast enough to be impossible. Controlled enough to be fair. It's a perfect test. Power against preparation. Faith against will. Sunlight against shadow. And Batman swings. For a split second, it feels like the universe holds its breath. Then the crack of the hit cuts through the air and the ball launches up into the night, high and clean. Superman is genuinely surprised. Lois smiles like she expected something like this all along. Selina looks at Bruce like she always does, like she never doubted him for a second. The double date ends with laughter, not tragedy. 4 people walking away with sticky hands and sore arms and a little more trust than they started with. In Gotham, that counts as a miracle.